afternoon, everybody. What is up? How's it going? It's Sunday. So Sundays are special, right? Time for family and friends and fun and football, I guess, if you're into that. That's what Jake is up to today, is football. But me, oh my God. I'm focusing a little bit more on the family aspect today. So what we're about to bake today is it's not super complicated. It's actually fairly straightforward, pretty simple. It does require a bit of technique if you're not used to making the primary ingredient for this dessert. But otherwise, it's pretty grand, pretty easy. But it is actually one of my favorites. It's just, we're making angel food cake, and I'm making this for my Mamaw, who is a literal angel. She is like the best Mamaw in the entire world, and I am so grateful for her. And when my brother told me that when they were up in Amish country, that she loves their angel food cakes, but she didn't want to buy one up there because she wanted to eat one of mine, because I have made this previously and she said that it was the best angel food cake that she's ever had. So thank you, Mamaw, you made me feel so good. So now I'm making this for you so that you can enjoy it and have it all to yourself, and anytime you want one, just ask. But yes, my Mamaw, she is very special to me. I didn't have grandparents growing up, really. My dad's father passed away when my dad was 22, so that was about 10 years before I was born. And then my dad's mom had Alzheimer's for the duration of my childhood until she passed away when I was 11 or 12. So I didn't really know her, even though she was physically present. But even still, you know, a grandparent is a grandparent, and I will take all of the grandparents that I can get, cause, you know, and that's how I feel about it today. Like I was blessed with my Mamaw and Papa when I was 13 or 14 years old. Well, no. I'm trying to think. I think I was 13, 12 or 13 years old when they came into my life, and maybe I wasn't. How old was I when my grandma died? It's probably 10, 11? I don't know. Dad's mother passed away when I was this age. And then a couple years later, I got my grandparents that I know today. And I love them to death, and they have been through a lot in this last year. So I try and do as much for them as I can, and I'm sure it's never enough, but you know, I try, we try. That's all that we can do, is try. So we're making angel food cake today, and it's, like I said, it's straightforward, easy, fun-ish to make, I guess. I don't know. But it is a good recipe to have. It is like a fan favorite cake. A lot of people like angel food cake. It's really light. It's not too sweet. You can pair it with like fruit. You can pair it with like whipped cream. You know, you can do a lot with it as far as, you know, like versatility wise. And it's not like heavy or dense. It's very just like light and airy. It's just like eating a cloud. It's perfect. Perfect for any occasion. And so we're making it today on this cloudy, cold Sunday afternoon. So without further ado, let's get started. So I have my little mini food processor here. You can use a big food processor, use a little food processor, whatever works for you. This is less fuss for me than my huge food processor, which I do use and love. It's just I hate dragging it out because it's so big. So this one is really nice. This is a great wedding gift from my cousin Beth. Thank you very much, Beth, and her husband Paul. Appreciate it. So I have 1 3/4 cup of granulated sugar in here. And the whole point of putting it in the food processor is just to get it super fine. The base of angel food cake is meringue, or like an egg white meringue base. And you want like super fine sugar to add to the egg whites to make the meringue, so that it absorbs better. You have better consistency. It's not grainy. It's less likely to like deflate and leap. It gets incorporated better when the sugar is super fine. So you can buy super fine sugar if you can find it, and that just alleviates this step. Good for you. There's not really any place around here that has super fine sugar. Not a lot of like baking niche market stores. So we're just gonna food process ours for about a minute or so. Oh, all that. Well, now hold the phone. Put the French toast plugged in. What the crap? What is going on? There we go. Okay, so I have 1 cup of cake flour here. I use Swan's Down cake flour. Use whatever brand you prefer. I've used this before. I really like it. No complaints at all. Cake flour is really nice. It's a little bit more like dense, I guess. I actually like full transparency here. I don't know the difference between cake flour and like all-purpose flour. I'm assuming no, it just says enriched cake flour. Does not contain baking powder or salt, so I don't really I don't know what the difference is. I think it's just how it's processed, maybe. Please don't shoot me down. I don't know. So I have a cup of cake flour here. So we're going to sift the cake flour, half of this sugar mixture, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt together, and set that aside. Salt. And now here's the tricky part, okay? Like what is half of 1 3/4? Is it 5/8? I don't know, because you would do like 3/4. 3/4 is 1 1/2. So 3/4 of a cup and 1/8 of a cup. Oof. I am not being paid enough for this. 1/4. Just had to guesstimate a little bit, no big deal. Not the end of the world, it's all getting into the same mixture. So here's this, and we're just gonna sift it all together. Now, you know, we made sure that the sugar was super fine, but that doesn't alleviate it, you know, from clumping up. So we're just gonna sift it all together, make sure it's all mixed in, so that when we fold it into our egg mixture, it's nice. We're not having like, you know, great clumps of flour, great clumps of sugar, stray salt granule that's not evenly mixed in. Sugar. Nice. Yeah, see, look at that. Look at those. Oh, it's falling through. So big chunks, don't want that. So we're gonna set this aside. So now we have our KitchenAid mixture. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. KitchenAid mixer fitted with the whisk attachment. I'm actually going to take this off for now. Because what we're about to do is very tedious, okay? I have a full dozen eggs here, and we need 12 egg whites. 12 egg whites for this angel food cake. Okay, so it's gonna take a minute, so stick with me now. 12 egg whites. Howdy, that was close. I thought that yolk broke. And then I was going to be very sad. Yeah, you don't want any egg yolk at all in your whites, because the egg yolks are like fatty and like greasy, and like very oily, and any sort of excess oil in the egg whites they won't whip up either at all or not as well as they would ordinarily without any egg white in them. My hands are clean, I promise. I washed them, and they're dry, so they're free of oil for the moment. You just want to be careful. Whew. Personally, I think the yolk is the best part of an egg, but what do I know? We are halfway through our eggs at the moment, and I just wanted to take a second and tell you all about the history of angel food cake because it's super interesting. So historians have kind of sort of pinpointed it to the early 1800s when this angel food cake sort of surfaced. It was thought to be a variation of like a sponge cake or a cornstarch cake or like a snow cake, which are like light and fluffy and have a predominantly egg base. It's fatless basically. And so it originated early 1800s in like southern Pennsylvania, because that is where the majority of cake tins were being produced, and so with the excess of cake tins, this cake came about. Some historians believe that some of the first angel food cakes were made by most likely probably baked by African American slaves, because it required a strong mixing arm to whip up all of these egg whites to the consistency that they needed to be. So interesting facts that angel food cake probably most likely originated within the United States, but as a variation of a European cake. So there's your little history fact for the day. Let's get cracking. Our egg whites are in here. It's a lot of egg whites. So to this, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar. A lot of egg whites need a lot of cream of tartar. Need a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Half a teaspoon of almond extract, which almond extract is optional, so if you have someone with a nut allergy in your family, please omit it. I just think it adds a really nice like rounded flavor to the what am I making? Angel food cake? Gosh. So by all means omit it if you don't want it, but I'm gonna add it because I think it adds a nice little flavor. And you're not adding too much, so it's not like almond will be the predominant flavor. It's just a nice little hint. Alright, so, and then we're also going to add 1/3 cup of warm water to this. I think the whole point of adding the warm water is to just help the egg whites like break up and break down a little bit easier and help it mix better. So, you're going to mix this on low for 1 minute. Okay, so this has been going for a minute, so we're going to crank it up to medium speed, and we're going to start gradually adding in our sugar. There's a lot of egg whites, so it's going to take a while. we're looking for medium peaks on our egg whites. So they're going to be like semi-stiff, but they're also going to be like a little weepy. Not weepy, but you know, like wilted. Sugar's gone. Not there yet. There we go. So this is look at this. This is a lot of egg whites. This is a lot of batter, and the whisk, like when you're whipping air into the egg whites, so you're adding a lot of volume to it. And 12 egg whites is a lot to add volume to. So periodically I was like lifting this part of my mixer up and down to help thoroughly mix the egg whites evenly and make sure that they were all getting whipped up to where they need to be, so we don't have over whipped eggs on the bottom and under whipped eggs on top. So it worked out quite nicely. So they're still a little runny, but see, it still hangs, you know, so that's about a medium peak. It's not super stiff, but it's not really soft either. So I have our sifted mixture here, and we're just going to, we're going to put in enough to dust the top. So about half. We're going to gently fold it in. And you're probably thinking, you know, Sheena, that's not a lot of dry ingredients, like in ratio to the liquid ingredients, and you could be right, but the majority of this is meringue. The flour and sugar and salt just add extra, give it extra strength to stand up, because like on its own. So and the rest of it in. You want to make sure you're getting down on the bottom too. You don't want chunks of flour or egg white to go be clumpy. And this does take out some of the air, but it will get incorporated back into it as it bakes. And when you add the flour into this, it all just tends to sink. Egg whites don't really hold a lot of weight, and flour is very heavy. So you just want to wanting to be sure and be making sure that you are you know, folding it and incorporating the flour as much as you can, because you don't want huge flour pockets when it bakes. You just want to make sure you're getting down on the bottom, pulling it up, make sure you're getting it all. Nobody wants a lumpy angel food cake, that's for sure. Ooh, got a lot of flour that's not getting incorporated, and it is really hard to mix things into egg whites or meringues and still have the meringue like have enough air in it and, you know, to hold its shape when it bakes. But you just want to be gentle, take your time. This smells insanely good. And I know there wasn't a lot of almond extract in it, but it really has an almondy smell to it. Almond extract, you don't need a lot. It is potent, which is great because you can get the flavor that you're looking for without a lot of added liquid to the batter. But you know, I always associate like cheesecake. Oh my gosh, cheesecake, angel food cake with a nice like almondy flavor. So, yeah. So we're there. We're there. All of our flour mixture has been incorporated very nicely into this. I'm happy with how it's looking. So I have a fluted pan here. This isn't specifically an angel food cake pan. This is just a regular bundt pan. I don't have an angel food cake pan. And if you don't know what an angel food cake pan is, it's just like, it's a pan similar to this. It's fluted. It has the, the middle piece in it. It's got like a flat bottom and like angled flat sides. There's no like grooving. I used this pan before and it turned out okay, but you know, the extra grooves might make it a little bit more difficult to come out, so you might have to help it a little bit, or I might have to help this a little bit, but it worked fine. This is ungreased, so we're just gonna gently spoon our angel food cake mixture into the bundt pan. As I'm spooning this in, I'm rotating my bundt pan. Just to make sure that we're getting it even. As we're spreading it around. My pan, I think, is going to be borderline too small, but we're making do. We're making do. I was originally inspired to make this angel food cake because of a Great British Baking Show episode, and it was season season 2 or 3, and it was the technical challenge, and they had to, it was with Ruby and Brittany. So season 2 I think. Yeah, it was season 2, and this was their technical challenge one week, and I just thought, like, man, like angel food cake sounds so good. Like, who doesn't love angel food cake? So found a recipe and I tried it and it turned out amazingly. So thank you, Great British Baking Show, for giving me the inspiration to make this angel food cake. You ever seen that meme where it's like a mixer and it's like the liquid inside is like right up to the top, but it like doesn't come out, and it's like, this is how close I am to losing it? Well, this pan is a good example of how close we are to losing it. So, okay, so this is our angel food cake. This is going to go in a 350-degree oven for 35 minutes, and we're going to test it to make sure it's baked in the middle. You can use a wooden skewer, but I have some beloved customers turned friends at work who gifted me with a cake tester, so I'm going to try that and use it for the first time to test this out. And then as soon as it comes out of the oven, we're going to cool it upside down on a cooling rack. So we're just gonna invert it, turn it up so the bottom, this side is up and the cake side is down. We're gonna let it cool on a cooling rack for 1 hour minimum 1 hour. And then we're going to, because theoretically, when you let it cool upside down like that, the cake will just sort of slough out and fall down on its own as gravity takes over, since there's nothing holding it in. So yeah, we're gonna do that, and then I will show you what it looks like when it's all said and done. I will post pictures, and yeah. There you have it, folks. thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it and you make an angel food cake yourself. If you do, let me know. Tag me on Instagram, Freddy Bakes by Sheena, or let me know on Facebook or Twitter. I'm on all sorts of social media. Find me, tag me, let me know how it turned out for you, and enjoy. Until next time.